10 questions for an instructor, take 1, and action.
Alright, so welcome back to the channel. We are back with Motojitsu, Greg. I think most of your viewers know you as Greg now. For a while you just kept it as Fast Eddie or Motojitsu, but now it's okay to say your actual name.
Yeah, because of my books, and people
because
like...
of your books.
My first book came up, like, who the hell is Greg?
Who's Greg?
Yeah, people didn't know that was my name for years. You know.
So thank you for agreeing to be on camera again for your second interview. Sure. 10 questions for an instructor.
Okay.
Now, you're an instructor as Motojitsu with your social media channel, teaching the world how to ride better and ride safer. Before that, and you are now full-time creator.
Yeah.
That is your passion, let's say. But as an instructor, as a motorcycle rider and motorcycle instructor, you have been, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you can fill me in on all the details, an MSF instructor, and a California Motorcycle Safety Program, the CMSP instructor, beginner riding course, right, the MTC, the intermediate riding course, the one-day premier course, the ARC, the advanced rider course, level 1, ARC level 2.
Not level 2.
Not level 2, just level 1.
Just level 1.
And track day clinics.
Track clinics, yep.
Right. So pretty much all the way through the CMSP as an instructor. And so you are more than qualified as an instructor on all of these questions, obviously, even though you're not currently an employee.
Retired.
You are retired from teaching the CMSP program.
Yep.
You no longer have to deal with the newbies and the squids and teaching them what the clutch is.
Yeah, so with like Lee Parks, he has 5 levels.
Right. Beginner,
intermediate, ARC1, ARC2, and track clinic. So I taught everything but ARC2.
Right. But you are recently retired from it.
Yeah, last June.
Yeah. And you still know everybody in the program, and everybody in the program knows you. Yeah. And the 2 signs on the wall there, Mentor of the Year, Ambassador of the Year for what you did for the program. I was at those VWs when you were presented by the Highway Patrol.
Yeah, the amount of, because I remember when I got that one, just the amount of promotion of the courses and getting people to sign up. Because they could see how many people sign up based on like, oh, Greg sent me.
You had a massive impact.
It was pretty cool.
On increasing awareness of the program and so on. So, and how cool for a student to go down to one of the San Diego training bases where you worked and get instructed by you.
Oh, it was...
It'd be a blast for them. I'm sure a few of them didn't know who you were, and the others would be like, oh my god, I just took my beginner riding class. And
the last year of teaching, like when COVID was still going on and stuff, I'd be talking, you know, we have our hats because it's outside and sunny and But I'd start talking, they'd be like, I know your voice. Then once they realized it was me, during the first break, they'd tell everybody, or the next day they'd come in, they bring in the books, I'd be signing helmets. Can I take a selfie with you? I was like, oh, after class. They're like, who is that guy?
I'm running a state program here.
Then people are like, how are you? Do you not know who this is? And like the students like, this is Motojitsu. So that got the first level of like kind of like strange celebritydom,
right?
Like
fan
selfies, signing helmets, and people bring my books and stuff. So that was interesting.
All right, so let's get on with the interview. 10 questions for an instructor. Even though you're a retired instructor, it's still relevant, and I want to know the answers to these questions. So, first question: why did you want to become a motorcycle safety instructor?
To have people not do the dumb things that I did. So I started riding, no license.
All they have to do is watch the first video.
No license.
To that question's on. Watch the first video, guys.
No license, no training, no gear. Bought an exhaust, wasn't loud enough, wasn't safe enough. Bought a full exhaust, riding back and forth on the highway, no license, nothing. Thought I was a hot shot, crashed, almost died. Then I realized I know nothing, and I need to take a lot more courses so I never experience this again, crashing like that and almost killing myself. And I was like, I want to become an instructor to help people not do what I did. And that was the only reason for doing any of that. That's it. Just have people not do. Wisdom is learning from someone else's mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't crash and buy all this stupid crap for your bike and not wear any gear like I did. Don't do what I did. There's a better way. There's a smarter way, which is what my second book is all about, The Road to Mastery. There's a better way. Like this tells you chapter by chapter how to pick out a bike, how to pick out gear, what to practice, where to go, what to do, all about like this is the way to go to it. That's going to be way better, that you won't have to crash and experience all these bad things like I did because I was an idiot. Buying a CBR 1000 RR was my first bike, like all that dumb stuff. So I just want to help people not do the things I did. And then I know that, so that's an instructor, but then my YouTube channel, when I'm teaching, I'm in front of 12 students. If I make a video, the world can see it. So it's just opening up the umbrella of influence I have, which is why I leaned into the social media thing and making more videos to get more people educated. Because if I'm helping 12 people in front of me that get inspired to take classes and wear more gear, well, if I say the same types of things in a video, but people on the other side of the world can get inspired, and there you go.
Cool. Question 2, when did you become a motorcycle safety instructor? When was your
So I was still active duty Marines on Camp Pendleton. So let's see, I got out of the Marines in 2014. So 2013 I started riding. August 2013 I started riding.
That still blows me away that you're such a newbie as far as years on the road.
Within a year, I've had...
I mean that with respect.
Yeah, so I started riding on my Zebra 1000, put like 50,000 miles on that bike in a year, less than a year. Then I crashed, took more courses, and became an MSF instructor within first 18 months of riding. I became an MSF instructor first for 6 months, teaching on base to Marines. And then Lee won the program, Lee Parks. So then everything switched to CMSP, and then I went through the very first instructor training for his program. Then during that, he made me an instructor trainer, and then IRC, and then 6 months later ARC, and I'm teaching all of his stuff in 6 months. But that was all within the first 3 years of me riding. Not teaching anything at all for my first year, and then a year after teaching anything, I was already certified to teach like almost all of tow control. Yeah.
Question 3, where did you do your instructor training?
So the MSF instructor training was on Camp Pendleton.
At Camp Pendleton.
That's where I went to the...
That's where I did mine.
Yep. Because I was still active duty Marines too.
Okay.
And then right when I was getting out of the Marines is when Lee Parks did his MTC instructor training. But again, it was on Camp Pendleton.
Okay.
The IRC instructor training was on Camp Pendleton. And then the ARC thing is something different. But then I taught with the military for years and years and years. Either with the Navy on Coronado,
Right.
Miramar. I used to teach on Miramar, and then Camp Pendleton. And then I started doing civilian stuff after all that stuff. But the initial stuff was mostly military.
Since becoming an instructor, how often did you teach, and typically where?
In the very beginning, I was still active duty Marines, so I couldn't go teach a bunch. But I had a really cool officer in charge, because he knew I was getting out of the Marines and this is what I was going to do. So he let me take off probably 2 days during the week to go volunteer to teach on base to the Marines. But once I got out, I was teaching 5-6 days a week. Yeah, so I was teaching MTCs and IRCs. So yeah, 5-6 days a week. Sometimes there was a certain point where I was teaching the IRC every day, like 5 days a week on Coronado to Navy guys. Every day IRC. So I was teaching a lot. And then I started teaching doubles. So Saturday and Sunday was doubles. So MTC, range 1, lunch break, then range 1 again with another 12.
It's a lot of work.
I did doubles for years.
Yeah.
And then during the week I would also teach 2-3 days during the week. So I taught a lot. It was like really front loaded when I first started.
Cool.
Yeah.
What did you like most about being an instructor? Or what do you like, because you're still an instructor, so even what do you like most about being an instructor? That's the question.
Well, I'll answer both from then and then now. So when I first started teaching, I guess it's the same feeling or the thinking afterwards, like just seeing the students actually learn something and then they can apply it immediately and then see that it works and they're not believing me anymore. They learn off their own experience. Because like I'm just like, like the old saying, like I'm the finger pointing toward the moon. Like this is what to do and I want you to do it. But then they do it, they feel the experience of it actually working.
Right.
They're like, holy crap, it works. I know if I go like this, the bike's going that way. I'm like, yes, isn't that awesome?
Just witnessing that light
Seeing
bulb.
the light bulb, but the connection of and the trust of like this is what works, but they're like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But then they actually do it, then they get their own experiential knowledge, then that combines with the instruction, then they put it all together for their own understanding. And then no one could tell them differently because they learned and then they did their own understanding. Now it's molded together like two halves of a coin, So it's like it's really cemented in. Or that, and then especially teaching the advanced level stuff, I love it when students at the end of like the ARC teaching it, they're like, I thought I was a pretty good rider. Now I realize I don't know anything. I need to go practice so much more because
it's a little bit how I feel right now having had the
even in a
experience.
parking lot with the ARC, like and you're in second gear going less than 30 miles per hour, like this stuff is so challenging of how precise you have to be, and like I'm telling you, be within 1 foot of that cone after you go around the circle 3 times or whatever they're doing, and a lot of people can't do it, but they see us doing the demos on it and they're like, I can't do any of that. And you're doing it first try. It's like, I don't know. And like seeing them, the humility, finally, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to take a lot of courses and practice. I love that because I know the feeling because I've been through so many courses. Like, and it's exciting. I want people to be excited about the humility. Like, I don't know anything, and I want to be around people that are all better than me, all faster, because I can learn from everybody.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the best thing. Like jiu-jitsu, I go to a class. I'm the only white belt there. Freaking awesome. I could learn from every single one of these people who have so much more years of experience. It's going to be a great day. Yeah, I love it.
Fantastic answer. What did you dislike most about being an instructor? Or what do you dislike most about being an instructor?
Nothing in the beginning. I was like, this is all great. I'm teaching, being with all these students and everything like that. So once I started to become a higher level instructor, IRC, ARC, then getting better and better at teaching, then I would go and teach with people that are there for opposite end of the spectrum. And it got to the point where I told the people I was working with, I'm only going to teach if these 3 people can teach with me. I don't want to teach with anybody else.
Okay.
Why is that? The way I am, just super excited about actually caring about these guys. I want them to get better, be excited about wearing gear, be excited about taking courses and practicing. The other instructor is there to get a paycheck. They don't care.
No.
They're doing the absolute minimum just to stand there enough to do their job. They're not giving feedback, they're not nothing. And they don't take courses. They don't wear gear. They're wearing BS gear. They don't practice. They make fun of, you could take a course, but I never did, and I'm pretty good. I was like, I can't be around them because we're so different. And think of the student's perspective. There's me, it's like, yeah, isn't that fun? Like, let's learn and more courses. Look at all the stuff you could take. And the other one's like, during just nothing, just checked out. And I was like, I can't be around these people that don't care. And I was like, I don't want to teach with them anymore. And I was like, even if it sacrifices, like I don't get scheduled as much, I can't do it. It drove me crazy. Then it got to the point where they're doing things against the policy of the MTC, like they're not supposed to be teaching that. They're saying the wrong things. They're not moving the right spots. Now they're doing it, the curriculum teaching wrong, and they don't care about the students. It got to the point I was teaching with maybe 3 or 4 people. If not, don't schedule me. There's no one else. There's no one for you next month. I'm not on the schedule next month then. So I was like, So that was the only thing I didn't like.
So getting away from being a total control instructor or MSF instructor, now as an instructor within the social media world, and when you do one-on-one lessons or group rides, is there anything about that experience that you dislike as being an instructor? I mean, usually the people that are there really want to be there. They're choosing to do
so.
But I'm sure you get a little bit of backlash sometimes from riders and from other people.
So it's ironically only positive. So
Which is awesome.
There's always trolls and haters that comment on my videos and my social media, like I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to ride, blah blah whatever. But I don't care. But 99% of the emails I get and things like that is like, hey man, I live in Australia or whatever. Never had a full face helmet in my life. I just watched a couple more of your videos. I just bought a full face helmet for the first time ever. Hey, I was wearing jeans my whole life. I just bought riding pants for the first time. And getting that feedback is the best thing about my whole channel. So it's like, it's still, I don't get the facial expressions of teaching people one-on-one, like, oh my God, I don't know. But in an indirect way through the videos, and then they send me an email or message me on Instagram, like, man, I just watched that video, and you know what? I just went and practiced with my son for the first time emergency braking. And you know what? I'm not as good as I thought I was, so we're gonna do it more now. I'm like just awesome. That's the best thing. So it's a bigger influence. So it's more people that have the moments. It's just I like best the face to face, because like they come in as like white belts in even in one course, like the IRC, they come in knowing what they know, but by the end of that 1-day course, man, they really improved.
Yeah. You've opened their mind to the next level of riding.
And I've always made it clear when I was teaching, right or wrong, I'm like, look, I'm giving you, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I'm giving you a lot of information, but my goal, I didn't tell them directly, but indirectly through everything I did that day, I was like, I just want to motivate you so much. You can't wait to leave and go practice all this stuff on your own. Because if you think you're going to be a changed rider after 8 hours, you're delusional. Like, you need to take this info and do a lot of practice with it. Then it will change your riding.
Right.
But don't take one course one time like, oh, this stuff was stupid. How often did you practice what they taught? I don't. You're not going to be a changed rider one day. You have to take it and do something with it. It's like, I'm giving you a lottery ticket. cash it or not.
Yeah.
If you do nothing with the information I'm teaching you, it is going to be irrelevant to you. 2 people can take the IRC or whatever course. One guy leaves for 2 months straight and practices and gets really good. This guy leaves, oh, that stuff was dumb, doesn't do anything with the exact same information, and this guy will talk crap about the course and this guy will praise it. What's different? The person's mindset's what they do when they leave. So I've always wanted to make sure I only have you for 8 hours, or maybe the 2-day class, 2 8-hour days. I want you to leave here like, I can't wait to go practice this stuff. That was my only goal, because that's the only thing that really matters. My vest says shut up and practice.
Yeah.
Not watch my videos. Go
No,
practice.
don't do it.
Go do this stuff.
Go do it.
I tell people all the time, how do I get better at this left-hand turn? Go do that left-hand turn 3,000 times in a row. You'll probably figure it out, dude. Get on the bike. Go practice it. More than anything.
High speed stopping, 55 miles an hour, it's a pucker moment. But once you've done it 100 times, it doesn't freak you out.
And the
as
first
much.
time you do something like that should never be when you actually need it.
Right.
Go to an empty dead-end road and parking lot and see how long it takes you to stop at, just say 50 miles per hour. You will be shocked of how long that takes you to stop. And that's when you know you're about to stop on good controlled environment. Now something surprises you, how good do you think you'll be? It's an eye-opener. But people don't do that, and the disconnect is always there. Like, they don't realize how vulnerable they are because they overestimate their skill and they're overconfident.
Yeah.
And that's the worst type of rider ever. Overconfident and incompetent.
Awesome, dude. Question 7. When you were teaching the CMSP program, what was your favorite exercise to teach? And then the flip of that is, now that you're teaching privately, what's your favorite exercise to teach privately? Hopefully, probably what you did with me this morning.
Both the same answer, emergency braking.
Ah, okay.
Out of all the drills in the MTC, emergency braking.
Being able to stop your motorcycle quickly, efficiently,
Any
using
idiot,
all the brakes.
Any idiot can do this.
Right, go fast.
You could get a random anything and they could figure out how to go. But to be able to stop effectively, consistently, and that having the students stop, so they're going 15 miles per hour in second gear. The first stop is 30 feet. The second time I come around is 25. The third time they come around is 20. Now 15 miles per hour, they're stopping at 15 feet, 12 feet. It's like, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of an intersection. When you first started, you were stopping over there. Like, see that chalk mark? That's you. Look at this. In 15 minutes, you cut it 80% shorter. Look how well you can stop this bike. And then you know what that does? When you have braking confidence, the next time we did the cornering drill, they were okay going a little bit faster because then they knew, I know how I could stop this bike fast. Because I don't think anybody has an acceleration problem. People have a braking problem. You're always going to be afraid to accelerate if you don't know how to slow down. But once they knew how to slow down, the rest of the day for any cornering drill, everybody's 5 miles per hour faster. In all the classes I've taught, because now they know I can slow down this bike way more than what I thought. These brakes are so powerful, and I learned the right technique.
Right.
That light bulb opens up to a lot of other light bulbs, because they get cornered. They could corner fast. They could drive harder out of the corner to go to the next corner, because now they know how to slow down better. So it is always the braking. And even now, with the one-on-one stuff or whatever else I do, like we do some emergency braking, like, man, you know you could stop the bike and you know the brakes really well. Everything else is easier. Everything else is just gives you confidence. Braking confidence is the number one thing I would tell anybody to do. If you do anything to practice, is emergency braking. I don't care about low speed, forget about all my drills, just do emergency braking. That alone will transform your riding if you know how to stop consistently very, very, very well. I would say forget about everything else, just do emergency braking. That's the thing I focus on the most. And now, since we did the one-on-one today, now you know why.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always been my favorite to teach as well.
Yeah.
And I talk about it, you know, with my colleagues and other instructors, and I'm just like, I wish we did more of it.
Yeah.
And I wish my students, when I teach privately, I wish, you know, I build it up slow and steady, but yeah, we're practicing emergency braking it faster and faster. And I'll mark and do the same thing, show them, look what happens when you shift your butt back and get you nice and low. And
Yeah, look how well you can stop this thing, man.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
amazing. Awesome.
Real
Question-
quick about the
yeah.
braking.
Oh, one more braking bit.
So, teaching with a group of people, like random people in a parking lot or at an actual course, I always say this to them at the end. So say this next class.
Okay.
At the end of emergency braking, be like, okay, what if the first stop you did was the one you needed if you rode here today? And everybody's like, oh my God, I wouldn't be here.
No?
Yeah. But after 30 minutes only of practice, look how short you're stopping.
Yeah.
Now I tell them, Now let's say you don't practice for 1 month, but in exactly 1 month from now, a car will pull out in front of you when you're going 40, and you don't do anything for a month. How well are you going to stop? Not at all. Then I say, okay, here's a thought experiment. 2 months from now, at this time, at this intersection, a car will pull out in front of you at 50 miles per hour, and you're going to have to do the best stop of your life. But I'm telling you that. I'm telling you the date. What would you do between now and then? I'd practice every day. Exactly. Do you not realize that could happen every moment you're on the bike? Why in the world are you not practicing? It could happen anytime you get on the bike. You may have to stop as fast and as hard as you can. And if you don't practice, you just think you'll automatically remember this skill that you learned however many months ago or years ago.
It's a great thing to add to the conversation at the end of that exercise. One of the things I do is I encourage them to, whenever they're out riding and they come to a stop, do a full, go all the way, because so many people just go half. You know, we've got really good brakes on our bike, so they're using 2 fingers, they're not using a 4-finger squeeze, which is a whole other conversation, but they're only going halfway, just enough to stop the bike, but not full all the way. And I'm just like, when you need to use all your brakes, you need to do a full progressive squeeze all the way until there is no more, there's nothing left in it. You cannot get your fingers up there, it's all the way. So I'm saying, just practice consistently. When you don't need to do it, but do it so that you get that muscle memory of going all the way on the squeeze, but smoothly and in control.
Do you see that video I made about the first mile of your house? Do 3 or 4 emergency brakes for the first mile. You're warming up the tires, you're warming up yourself, you make sure you have brake fluid, you're getting yourself mentally prepared in case you have to stop as fast as you can, that you've already done it 2 or 3 times before the car gets there.
Get out of the way.
And if something breaks, you're a mile away. Right. Don't be 30 miles away to realize you don't have brake fluid.
It is great advice.
Within the first mile, if you don't do 3 or 4 hard stops, first start at 10, then 15, then 20, then 40, go to empty road, you know, whatever, there's no one around, no one behind you, get on those brakes. If something snaps, something's breaks, something's whatever, you get that figured out before there's actually a car there.
Scrub those tires in, do some weaves.
And that's the fastest way to warm up anyway. Hard acceleration, hard braking in a straight line. But, yeah.
Alright, so here's a good one for you, because you know a lot of bikes and you've had a lot of bikes. What's the best motorcycle to train a new student on? I'm going to give you cash, $5,000. Go out and buy a training bike, and it's got to pretty much cover as many people as it can. But what would you get them? What would you buy them? You've seen them, ridden them all. I have too. There's probably 30 or 40 different training bikes out there. And
there's one bike. It's the same bike, but 2 different companies make pretty much the same looking type of bike. Yeah. Guess what it is? You want to guess?
I don't know, but I have a Suzuki Van 200, and that's my training bike for my students to ride.
Van? Or a TW200 from Yamaha.
Really?
Same bikes.
Yeah, same bike.
But I think Suzuki Van because it's better technology. Like the dash is upgraded. But Suzuki Van, big wide tires, big long wide comfy seat, easy to ride. That is the best. If I told people, and I'm serious, if I didn't care about going on the highway ever, no twisties, I just wanted to ride around the beach. Guess what bike would I have? The Van.
All right, I'd
go up and down the curves. I'd ride to the beach. If I didn't care about going any more than 30 miles per hour, I would have a Van today.
All right. So next time I come down, and I'll come down again soon, I'm going to trailer my Van down. I'll put it on my bike carrier on the back.
You give me a parking lot of Van, I'll do some crazy stuff. I'm going to give you a parking lot. I'm going to give you my Van for the day, and you can do whatever you want on it. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
I've got full crash bars on it.
Dude, we go to the parking lot over here, the new place I just got. Okay. We could do.
I'm coming down with a Van.
It's so much freaking fun. That bike is awesome. That is the best bike. If I had a site, I would have 10 of those, and I would have 2, whatever lower seat bikes if someone's shorter. But that
drum at the back, disc on the front, no ABS. You got to learn to brake and use it properly.
Yep. It's got a big wide tires, easy, upright. Then people will understand neutral.
Neutral position.
You don't want to be like this as a first bike. Having that neutral wide bars.
Or like this.
Yep. Or with your feet forward. Feet below your hips. Neutral position. Everything's simple. Like the best training bike for sure.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yay. Question number 9. What was the scariest thing that ever happened to you while instructing a class, while teaching?
Yeah, so this comes right to my mind. So I was teaching, and the other guy I was teaching with, because 2 instructors per 12 students.
Yep. 6-to-1 ratio.
6-to-1 ratio. So the other instructor was just garbage.
Okay. Was he brand new? Just didn't know or didn't care?
Not brand new, didn't care. Liked to hear himself talk, went off on rants, didn't know
how. Was he an MSF instructor that was grandfathered into the program?
I think he went through the transition. So he was MSF, I think for a long time, then taught MTC, But either way, just messed up all the demos. Couldn't do the demos correctly. The cones are messed up. Everything is messed up from the instructor side of the house. And then just the feedback to the students was also very poor. Like during emergency braking, the first thing he started talking about was how is your breathing and everything. Like he took 50 feet to stop. Right. He's talking about everything else that's irrelevant. Like how about you talk about the front brake, get the status. Everything is bad about him. So, and just no common sense situation awareness. So he's over there emergency braking. I'm right here. Student comes down, not slowing down, goes right past me. Then he's just like whiskey throttling somehow, whatever. I don't know what's going on. Goes past, chain link fence, hits the chain link fence, the bottom breaks. Here's him. The fence opens up. He goes under the fence, still perfectly upright. He gets clotheslined like a limbo, like limbo. He limbo. The fence goes over the bike, over top of him like that, until the fence totally like allows him to come back up. Once he comes back up, parked car, T-boned the front wheel of a parked car that's parked right there on the other side of the fence. Hits the car over the handlebars, straight, bam.
Oh, right.
Onto the hood, then rolls, almost get hit by a car.
Wow.
So
that's like something out of a movie.
Just like
right?
He's coming down. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
So basically, it was braking exercise, but both braking chutes.
Both braking chutes.
Yep. So you were on one side, he was on the other, and your student.
Yep. So I'm sitting right here. Right.
Wow.
They come down. Next student come on down. First gear, second gear. I'm just like, is this guy gonna slow down? Just kept on going. Here, I'm just like, oh my god.
Was he injured?
Yeah. So immediately, the other instructor, just so now I have 13 students. 12 students and that other instructor, nothing. I did literally everything. So I called the cops, I called the CMSP program, I called the site manager, I got all the students off the bikes.
And then the paperwork begins with the
I did all the paperwork, everything. I told him to go sit down with the students. So I was like, blow the whistle, whatever. Like, riders, come off the bike. I'm just running and saying riders, come off the bike. And, everybody go to the shaded area, like go back around there, call 911, get the intersection, all that stuff. He comes over, he's like, oh my God, I'm like, go sit down.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I said to him. And then
did you have to do triage on the student or anything?
No. So after he hit the hood, almost got hit by a car, then he stood up right away, and then came back over to the bike that's like bent, like hit the car. He just kind of like he stood up and he kind of like just sat down.
The adrenaline just flowed.
Yeah, because he just got out of the street. So then he wanted to take off his helmet and start playing with his neck. I was like, no, just lay down. It's okay. He was breathing. There was nothing broken. He wasn't visibly bleeding, blah, blah. So on the cops, address, ambulance. And he was like, oh, can I keep riding? I'm like, no, you're going to the hospital, dude. I called Bobby, because it's a big deal. The site manager, everything. So maybe an hour and a half after everything. Wow. Then he's over there telling war stories about some crap that nobody cares about instead of like keeping them calm, because calm breeds calm. Yeah. If we as instructors start freaking out, the students will the instructors are freaking out, we're freaking out. This is bad. If the ship is on fire and one person's calm, but if you start like everybody else is going to mimic your energy. I was like, okay. So he's making it worse. He's like just throwing gasoline on everybody. So I go there and I had to talk to him all for 20 minutes. I told him to go do something, like I needed him to do it. I already did the paperwork. Like, go fill out this form and just go out. I just wanted to get him away from the students. Talked to him for like 20 minutes and then finally got back on the bike. Because it was only like 10 minutes into emergency braking. It's a 30-minute exercise. I'm like, I'm not going to jip them because they need to learn how to stop, obviously. And this is a gradable skill. So we had to do another 15 minutes of practice, but after 20 minutes of talking to him and doing all that, and then get back on the bike, and the rest of the day was okay, but that was the absolute worst. It was
he could have been decapitated.
It was
or killed by all three of those incidents.
Any one of those things
could have killed him.
2 feet over was the metal pole.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He could have hit.
His guardian angels were smiling on him that day.
So 2 feet over, metal pole. But because he went under the fence, but if he was over here, he would have had the gap between cars right into traffic where he probably would have gotten hit. So he was right at this thing, got clotheslined by the fence, hit the car, hit the hood. If the car wasn't there, went right into it, just got absolutely T-boned and probably killed. It was insane. I've had people grab the front brake, like during the IRC, the emergency brake, and absolutely front flip right in front of me.
I've seen that too.
And they kind of got up and, they just got on it too much, no big deal. But having that, like full out of control whiskey throttle, I mean, emergency braking, they all start braking a little early, but they might be going 20 at the fastest, like right there somewhere. But they slow down. But just having someone going 20, 25 right past you with no indication of slowing was a very bizarre, like, and just looking back and I'm like, oh my, that was wild. That was a wild one. I was like, holy crap, that was yeah, that was the worst thing that I've seen as an instructor. Yeah.
All right, well, question number 10, final question.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone thinking of becoming an instructor? What
So-
would you advise?
This came from the I've gotten three or four of my buddies to become instructors. So before they go to be an instructor, I bring them here, and or they in between their or after they graduate the instructor training course, I bring them here before they teach a real class, and we go over, like I put little cones on the ground and we go over the full MTC, like how to do it, where to stand. But before that ever happens, like one of my buddies now is an instructor. He got a hold of me through my YouTube channel. He found me and he wanted to be an instructor. So about a year before he became an instructor, I want to be an instructor. What should I do? Become a really good rider. One of the worst things is having a white belt teach other white belts. You don't know enough to be teaching these people, because when they ask you a question that's outside your experience, you got to have some kind of experiential understanding and enough knowledge to where you could tell them what's important for them to know at this level. That's why when you go to jiu-jitsu, if a white belt walked out, I'm like, I'm not listening to you. Where's the black belt? They know what they need to tell me at my level and my skill that's relevant. Hey, blue belt, you might be correct, but right now is the wrong time, and you don't know it's the wrong time or right time because you don't have that much experience. Black belt does. I'm listening to him. So not having the actual skill to be able to ride in different environments and have just a lot of actual skill, like you're actually a good rider. That should be the most basic qualification. And that's just one thing. I know a lot of people are really good riders. They can't teach anybody how to do anything. To learn how to teach is a different skill. It's like completely, like 2 bachelors. Like you're a bachelor at riding. You're pretty good at riding. Actually get a bachelor at teaching. How to teach, body language, tone of voice, rate, expressions, how to communicate with people.
How to read people.
And there's 12 students, different
Right.
ages, different background, different everything. The 19-year-old son that comes down on the dirt bike and we're doing emergency braking, he's a 19-year-old guy, right? So like, hey, come on, man, squeeze that front brake a little bit more. Get that thing to stop. Get out of here. The next one is a 54-year-old woman who's been riding on the back of her husband's bike for 20 years. She comes down. You think I could say the same thing to her? Nope. So instantaneously, I have to be able to, like, I want to get them to stop as fast as I can, but I have to change everything to this new person. She comes down, does the same mistake, identical mistake. Hey, do you think you could squeeze that front brake like a lemon? Get all that juice out of the lemon. Let's go do it again. Next one comes down, whole different ball game. So how do you do that? You have to know how to teach. To teach someone is totally different skills. So I tell people now, if someone emailed me today, I want to be a motorcycle instructor, take minimum 5 track days, go to the track, go ride dirt, go take 4 or 5 other courses by other people, because I want you to have a variety of experience. Just like what Lee said, you only listen to one person. What are you missing? Take a lot of different courses, a lot of track days.
MMA, right?
Yes, everything. Learn everything, and go take Toastmasters. Go take a
Public speaking course.
Communication class, basic communication class on college. You get YouTube now and watch a whole college class on anything. There's like Yale University like recorded things.
That's right.
You can learn anything on YouTube.
So, Toastmasters.
Yeah, so take a public speaking class, take a communications class, like actually in school or just YouTube something, but practice speaking in front of other people. Speak to strangers. When you're in line at the grocery store, strike up a random conversation. Like if someone's looking, like you're behind someone, and they're looking at a tabloid that says, 3-headed alligator saves baby on Mars, and they look at it, like start a conversation, like, do you think that's real? You think, like, learn to speak with people, because that's all. You can have all the knowledge. If you can't communicate to the student, it's irrelevant. And that's a different skill. So those 2 things for sure, skill and learn how to teach. But the main thing that all that is based on, why do you want to be an instructor? If you think you want to be an instructor for extra money, don't ever do it. I'll pay you not to become an instructor. Because the last people we want in front of students thinking, I'm just here to make extra money. If you're doing anything, if someone asks me about money, how much money I can make as an instructor, I will not answer your question. If you're doing anything to do with money, you're in the wrong game.
Yeah.
Go do literally anything else. Nobody wants you there. The students don't want you there.
No.
Other instructors don't want you there. Nobody wants to train you. Nothing. I don't how much or little you make. That should be the last thing in mind. You should generally care and want to help the community out. If that's not your main absolute motivation, forget about it. Just do something else with your life. This is not for you. But if you do really want to care and you do really want to really do good, become really good yourself and learn how to talk to people and teach. Otherwise, if you're a really, really good teacher but you suck as riding, it's irrelevant. If you're a really good rider but can't teach anything, it's irrelevant. If you're both of those things and you think you can make extra money on the weekend, don't do it. You're the worst instructor. I hate you. Nobody wants to work with you because you're lazy, you don't care, you just want an extra paycheck. Don't do that either. You should be able to want to be an instructor and do it for free. That's how I know you'll want to be an instructor. I'll tell people, I just thought of this. For the first 6 months of you being an instructor, you're not getting paid nothing. Will you still want to do it? Oh, I'm not going to go waste 12 hours of my weekends. Then you're not go somewhere else. Would you do it for free is the question I would ask people. If the answer is yes, you want to do it, you'll work hard to become better, to give the knowledge to younger riders to make them better, not do the things you did and make them better riders. But if you're like, well, I'm not going to do it for free, I'm not going to do anything for free. Not saying that you will, but even the thought that I would still love this enough, I would do it. If you wouldn't even consider that, like, oh, I still would want to do it, it ain't for you. Don't do it. Nobody wants you there.
Completely agree with you 100%.
Nobody wants you there.
All right, bonus question for an instructor. What's next for Motojitsu as an instructor? I know you talked to me today about you're taking another class, you're going to go do another track day, you're continuing your education.
Yeah, monthly. I do something, yeah.
As a rider and as an instructor. So what I'm interested in knowing is, if it's not top secret, what's the plan for you moving forward as Motojitsu on YouTube and as an instructor?
So these things
within the motorcycling world, obviously.
Yep. So these two things just kind of came together within the last couple days, actually. So I always want to reach more people through, bigger the YouTube channel, bigger my Instagram channel. The more riders I meet, that's potentially more people to inspire to wear gear, take courses, and practice. Because that's my only goal to do any of this crap.
Okay.
Have more fun, crash less.
Yeah. Don't
Simple.
die.
That's it.
Don't die. Yeah.
So not just crash less, but it's also the better you are, the funner it is.
Absolutely.
Like, look at today. Look what we did today. Whatever you were yesterday, but whatever you are now, it's more fun the better rider you are.
You have fundamentally changed my motorcycling career, life, experience by doing what we did today. And you warned me. I had no idea what to expect. And I'm going to try and put it into words at some point with a video. But it was extraordinary, the experience of riding with you. Everything that I hoped you would be as a rider was underlined and multiplied by 10. I had no idea we would go that fast, that safely, that in control, that smoothly, brake that hard, at that lean angle.
Exactly.
With me riding it behind you. Really.
Yeah, yeah.
I was absolutely blown away by it. I've just been so humbled by the experience, but it's so exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's exciting.
It's so exciting that
there's more.
That an instructor as good as you, and you've gotten it so good, so quickly in such a short period of time. To me, it's mind-blowing. But you've proven and shown me that I've just got so much more to learn, and so much more to do, and so much more to practice, and that is exciting. I love being around successful people.
Yeah.
And if you want to get good at something, what do? Get around other more successful people and learn from them.
Exactly. Yep.
Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And absorb that information, and then go practice.
Exactly.
I was speechless.
Oh,
you said, do you have any questions?
Like,
about 1 million, but I need to digest what happened and absorb that and go away and re-listen to and then go practice and start putting it into practice. So getting back to what I asked you about what's next for you as an instructor.
So reaching more people is always the goal. Because there's so many more people that are going to crash within the next 2 months that might be able to learn something, watch a video, be inspired, go look something up, read a book, take a course. There could be something that my content offers that could help prevent that, maybe.
Greg, thank you for being an amazing, inspirational motorcycle instructor, for helping so many thousands, hundreds of thousands. Your channel's had millions of views now.
Yeah.
Many millions of views.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And you know, you're spreading the gospel of motorcycle safety. You know, you're like the Archbishop of safety.
Yeah.
Without the dog collar.
When I had my long hair, people called me Motojitsu, the savior of squids.
Yeah. So long may you live, long may you reign. I wish you all the success in the world, continued great success with your channel, with everything you do. Please ride safely, come home alive, right? That's my saying for my channel.
Yeah.
Ride safely, come home alive.
I appreciate it, and they're good questions. They're really thought provoking. I bet you they would be helpful. Like this might be good for, like, if you send this to Lee, he might send it to like new instructors or something. Like whoever you do these interviews with about this, because this is the stuff that if I wanted to become an instructor and I heard this guy's doing channels talking about,
there's
10 videos. I could listen to 10 different instructors about their questions about being an instructor. This is gold for anybody who wants to become an instructor. And all the different perspectives, me, then Christine,
they're all different answers.
All different answers, dude. I just want to go listen to them now. That's good stuff.
Good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So thank you, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Wow,
yeah, that's gonna be good.
That is really good. It's powerful stuff.